What is up, Action Taker? Welcome back to the After Hours Entrepreneur, where we are helping you build your first six-figure business. Woo! I am lit. I am Mark Savant, host of the show here. And today we're joined by Mari-Liis Vaher, founder of thepowerfulmarketers.com. And she helps small business owners build, run, and align their marketing with business results. Listen, you could have the best product, the best service on earth, but if nobody knows about it, you ain't selling nothing. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And there's a lot of cool, I think, excerpts and ideas and real life examples. But if I could really sum up this episode with one word, it would be feedback. Feedback, feedback, feedback. You need to get feedback in order to tell better stories, in order to deliver better messages, in order to be a powerful marketer. You need to know your audience. And the best way to do that is to get feedback. So I cannot wait to share this episode with you. Make sure to hit subscribe, click the button right now. I appreciate it. And let's get ready to rumble. We're going to be listening here to Mrs. Mari-Liis Vaher. DJ, run the tape. Mari-Liis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's always a good day when I get to sit down and talk marketing, especially when it's with someone as awesome as you, Mari-Liis. So thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. I enjoy talking about marketing every day.
I know it. I know it. I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm all in on what you are doing over there at Powerful Marketers. And I've been kind of thinking how to start this conversation, and I think I want to start here. Marketing means a lot of things to a lot of different people. People say it's just advertising, it's banner ads, it's billboards. But let me ask you, what does marketing mean to you?
Well, for me, it's all about that people need to know, like, and trust you. That's all it is.
Okay.
Marketing really helps here a lot. So it really allows you to connect with potential, let's say, customers and really inform them, with everything what you do and the value you offer to them. So, yeah.
So it's about building know, like, and trust with an audience, right? We were kind of talking about this before we hit record here, in that, you could have the best product in the world, you could have the best service in the world, but if nobody knows about it, if nobody trusts it, they ain't going to buy it. So what are some ways that are working for you and for your clients now? What are some things that you're doing to actually build that know, like, and trust with your audience?
Well, maybe I would start with the trust crisis in marketing, what is there right now, because it really kind of builds that foundation to understand why marketing is not maybe working for everybody, or they feel like that. So the world is overwhelmed with the superficial ads, funnels, there are scammers out there, and it's harder and harder every day to understand who we can trust. So that's the first thing. And the other thing, according to this study by Forney's group, 80% of the CEOs also do not trust marketers. So how can you align marketing with your business results when you don't trust marketers? I think that is crazy, because at the same time, the same amount of business owners are frustrated about their marketing or the lack of it. So it is kind of crazy. And the question I get a lot is, how should one company build their marketing so that it would be aligned with business results, right? And it is a very important question. But for me, the real question is always, how does one company build its marketing so that it will be aligned with its clients' needs? Because as soon as you hit the nail here, the business results will always follow. And the bottom line is something that every CEO trusts, right?
Yeah, well, right. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the goal of marketing. That's the goal of your sales, is we want to make money. We want to make profit, right? We want to get that first six-figure year for all the after hours entrepreneurs out there. But it's kind of funny that when I ask you to define marketing, you say it's building know, like, and trust with an audience or with a consumer base. And then you cite a study which says that nobody trusts marketers.
Exactly.
I'm just curious, what do you think that marketers are doing wrong? What do you think that businesses are doing wrong that's eroding that trust with our consumers?
As I said, we do not think so much about the client's needs. We think about our own needs and our own goals. So I'm sure that everybody have been frustrated about marketing, some way. I mean, maybe you have felt that you purchased on impulse or under pressure something that you didn't need, right? Or maybe you have felt that companies only connect with you when they need something from you. Is it contract extension, confirmation of the next payment date, etc.? So would you like them to care about you, the client? Are they always there for you when you need them? Those are the questions that are more important.
It kind of reminds me of an experience I recently had. I was going to the car dealership to get an oil change, right? Mm-hmm. Before the service person even looked at the car, he had already told me 5 things that I needed to have done. He said, "Oh, well, you need your brakes rotate. You need new brake pads, and we need the oil change. You need to flush the transmission. I'm like, bro, you have not even written down the VIN on your notepad, and you're already telling me 10 things I need." And so to me, as a consumer, what I really appreciate is being heard. And I feel like too often marketers, salespeople, they're trying to talk at us without listening.
Yep.
So, and that's a difficult thing to do, because when you're building out your funnel, when you're building out your marketing plan, your ads, you're not really listening. It's more of a proactive speech that you're making to people, right? Am I getting that wrong, or do we need to be listening more as marketers?
We sure need to listen to our clients, and even more and more, because we are all overwhelmed. We are all overwhelmed as business owners, and our clients are also overwhelmed. We need to make sure that we understand their needs so that we can communicate back it to them. How is it that we can help you with those struggles and obstacles you have in your life? Otherwise, they will not hear about you. And if you are out there with many different messages, they don't hear you again, because there's no consistency and the world is overwhelming.
Yeah, I've heard it's been said that for someone to actually purchase, they need to see the same message 7 times in a row. Or seven
Mark,
times, right?
That 7 times were back in like 10 years. Now it's even higher, this number. It's like 19, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. And it makes sense, but so this is something I've been putting a lot of thought into, is how can I be more clear about what I do and who I do it for? And I actually just went through an exercise with the Podcast Savant Pro group, which was building our one-liner. One line that explains exactly what we do, who we do it for. And I'll just break down the formula here, and I'd like to get your opinion on it. First thing we do is we define the character. That's your customer, who you're selling to, right? Then we determine what the problem that they have, what's their problem. Then we explain what our solution is, and then we explain what life is going to look like for them once the solution is executed, right? So it's 4 parts: character, problem, solution, success. And by using that formula, I was able to come up with a quick one-liner for what I do. I help busy professionals build sales and status with podcasts. And I noticed, Mari-Liis, that as soon as I started executing that one-liner, I started putting it everywhere on my bios, on my signatures, on my website. People will ask, "What do you do?" I started booking new clients immediately. It was amazing.
I know, because you made it more clear for your clients. What is it what you do? And I would say marketing, it's not just about being good anymore. It's about being authentic, putting yourself out there, and being consistent with that one sentence or one message. Because this one message is, something that will always remind them of you, right? So if I say, for example, big companies like Nike and Apple, for example, we always know, what are their goals or missions, or what are the why they are doing the things they are doing. That's the same thing pretty much, right? Because you want your clients to really to be aligned with your mission.
Yeah, well, so that's another thing. I was talking to, so this is a good point. I want to lean into this a little bit. I was talking to Sean Fallon the other day. Great episode. And he was kind of talking about how nowadays our businesses need to not only be transparent, but they need to have a mission behind them. People really latch on to that. And I think of a great example of Tom's. Every time you buy a pair of shoes, we give a pair of shoes to someone in Africa or someone in need. How important do you think that is to the marketing strategy that you have? Do we need to have some sort of mission where we're giving back, or are there different ways that we can make people feel like they're actually part of something?
I think we do have to do that because it all comes down to sustainability. And I don't only mean in terms of eliminating the CO2 footprint, right? But also, what is it that you are giving back as a human being, as a community, as a company? So how do you really make sure that people around you are happier and the communities are better thanks to what you are doing? This is something that really makes you authentic, and this is something that people really appreciate. So all great leaders are involved, and they share the clear mission to serve. Like you share your mission to serve people who want to build, six-figure businesses. And I'm here to serve frustrated small business owners. That's it. And they will remember that.
I think it's definitely a well met point. Marketing in general, I just think, has gone through so many changes. Just the other day, I was talking to my father, because I post a lot on social media. He's like, "Hey, Mark, I saw this post that you put on I think it was Facebook the other day, and you were telling people your numbers. You were telling people how much you were making for clients and so on and so forth. I don't think you should do that." And I felt like that's kind of an antiquated way of thinking about your business, And I'm not saying that you should be putting your social security out there on the web. Please don't do that. Right. But I think being transparent, I feel like the more transparent you are, the more know, like, and trust you're going to build with your consumers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that because this is the place where people can relate with your troubles, with your obstacles, with your ups and downs, and we can really make sure that, he's also a person, he has the same things are happening for him as for me. So I think it's only normal to share it, to build trust.
And when I think about the creators, the influencers that I really trust, it's the influencers that do that. They not only are transparent about their business and how they're generating income, but they're also very transparent about their background and their story. I just find that coming up with a compelling story is such a powerful way of getting people to buy in to what you're doing. So that's kind of along those lines. I want to kind of segue a little bit, not really like a hard shift, but you have something to add there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that even if the, let's say, marketing techniques and opportunities are developing rapidly, right? In days, in hours maybe. But we as humans remain the same. So we have been there talking stories to each other for centuries, right? And that is something that really connects us. So now, if you are building your marketing communication, think about that we have our social and safety needs. We miss belonging, love, care, and we need it, I would say, all more than ever because of what is happening around us. In 2020 came COVID, right? But now, in 2022, there is a brutal war in Europe, but you throw me at these promotions, hook me up with something, and then you will leave me with no actual feedback or meaningful relationship. So it hurts, and it most definitely does not build any trust. So it is it most certainly does not build this sustainable and cost-effective marketing for any business.
Yeah, I mean, I think that point about getting feedback is undervalued. It's underrated. You need to be getting feedback. And I don't think that you actually get feedback overnight. It's not like, you're going to go to bed and you're going to wake up and you're going to know everything about your consumer. But I've noticed over my, 4.5, 5 years in building my business that it's each client interaction, it's each consumer that I speak with on social media. I get to know the audience a little bit better over time. And the better you know your audience, the more sales you're going to make. Do you, like when you're working with a new client, Mari-Liis, do you immediately input systems or do you try to find out more about the consumer? What are some ways that you're finding out more about that business's consumer?
Well, I always start with clarity and goals. And I believe into saying, I'm not sure if that's what people say in the United States, but here there is a saying that you should measure 7 times before you cut, the fabric. So Same goes here, because I see that really the problem starts with clarity too often. We don't have this clarity about the target groups, about the message we want to, communicate to our target groups. And that's why, or therefore, we will try different, messages, different target groups, different channels even, because somebody sent me a great offer, right? And after some months and after spending a lot of money, people feel like, okay, this is not working for me. The marketing is not for me, but this is not marketing. So that's the problem. That's the biggest problem I see, Mark, really, that it is so hard to build this framework, let's say for a year. And too often people tell me that, no, Mari-Liis, you don't understand. I have a different business. We need to approach different seasons differently maybe. Or I'm not into B2B clients so much, I'm more into B2C, etc. But for me, it doesn't matter because the clarity should be there and you should have the framework with your goals in your strategy. And you build everything else around it. So it will make your life easier in many ways. First, it will help you with those marketing decisions a lot. And you are not so emotional, anymore, jumping from one activity to another. So that's a great thing. And you also start to know this difference, and you start to understand that how marketing really can be aligned with your sales and how it works and how it really helps you with building your business.
It's amazing to me, like the impact that changing one word in your messaging can make. It's incredible. It's incredible. It can be as simple as one word. I mean, if you go to, like some sort of search engine aggregator, right? Whether it's Google, askthepublic.com, maybe you're using a YouTube tool for checking what people are searching for. It's amazing that one word in the search terms can completely change what people are typing into Google. Completely. There might be millions of people searching for how to get rich with Bitcoin, and then nobody is searching for how to get rich by Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So just changing one word, it can make all the difference.
But for me, that's already something we do tactically. That's not a piece of strategy, right? So I wanted to add here that I once read that Zig Ziglar has said that lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem because we all have 24-hour days, right? So think about that. Why are some companies and leaders able to do more within this 24-hour window? And what can you do here for your business? So because as soon as you have clarity around who you are serving and why is it very valuable for them and why you are doing that, you have the as I said, this framework that will help you to build this marketing that really engages with all your stakeholders. So it is important. I always start with there. And I would say that that's the hardest part. It takes weeks, even for established businesses already, because those are important discussions around what are our values, where we want to go, and what are the values we can really offer for our clients.
Yeah, good point. Lack of clarity is definitely the killer. It's definitely the killer. You know, you run this mastermind program as well for small business owners and marketers, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has that program helped you to build your business? And I don't mean by, well, we turn these customers into clients, we get generate profit, but I mean from a feedback standpoint. When people join your marketing program in your mastermind group, I would assume that you're able to get a lot of feedback from that group. How valuable has that been in developing your messaging?
I would say that has been most valuable thing for me, because our monthly mastermind gatherings is with a goal to connect, support, and inspire people. So I always tell people that this is not the place where you come to do your pitches and just run away, right? It's not about that. It's always for me to build value, to build those meaningful relationships. I would recommend this to everybody, because I'm just putting out value, and people, they want to come there. And after that meeting, usually people engage, with us, and they also engage with other participants there. And this is how we have built our community kind of organically for us. There are people who are our clients. There are also sometimes, people around the world who are just there for the first time. But this is so important, because I read once, it was World Bank, I think, who set out that 90% of all the companies are small and medium-sized businesses. And same goes with Europe and United States. And that means more than 50% of employment worldwide. So if you are small, you are never alone, actually. Although you feel like that, you are all alone out there. There are thousands of similar business owners struggling with the same fears, obstacles, etc. around their business. And I know for sure that no one wins alone and without a clear direction. So that's why we run those masterminds, so that people can come together. They can see that, oh my God, you have the same issue that I have. Let's figure it out. Maybe we can help each other. Maybe you have some great ideas, or I can help you out with something, right? So they get so much inspiration and support out of these mastermind meetings already, and it has really changed our world here, I would say. And I especially love how people from Europe and States really can, meet each other and to connect. So it has been great. And again, it's all about bringing them value. I'm asking them, what do you need? How can I help you to be connected, to support you? What are the topics you need inspiration or insights? So I'm thinking about my clients.
I think the theme of this episode is, how do we get feedback from our audience, from our consumer, from like-minded? I think that running some sort of community group, mastermind group, networking group, it's just genius, because you get a direct line, you get a direct feed, you open a direct line of communication with your audience. The other cool thing that you mentioned was, when you get together with like-minded people, you'll start to recognize that you're not the only one who's struggling with issues. You're not the only one who's struggling with these problems. And, when you start to see those common denominators take place, it helps you really develop better messaging, because now you know that these are the stories that really hit. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. I've been, working on a rebrand for this show. Right. And part of that rebrand is going back and re-recording episode 1, episode 2. And when I went back and I listened to episode 1, I was listening to the stories that I was telling during that show, during that episode. And since then, over the past, I think we're on episode 250, 240, something like that. Over the time of these episodes, over the time of the conversations, I've learned that some of the stories that I was telling aren't hitting. People are not, they're not connecting with that particular story. So over time, I've developed and started using new stories to connect with my audience. And I just wanted to highlight that because the more you tell stories, the more you interact, the more you listen, the better your messaging is going to get. To me, that's the game. That's the game. And trying to get there faster, which is one of the reasons why working with experts like Mari-Liis definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Yeah, I believe that if you really don't have this clear vision and mission to serve your clients here, then I'm sorry to tell you that no marketing hack really can help you. I know there's so much hacks, marketing hacks out there, but and if you want this, let's say, fast and aggressive marketing, to build funnels or automation for your business, then there are some ways to optimize your lead flow like that at certain times, yes. But in the long run, it will always cost you more time, resources, money, frustration, etc.
Well, and that stuff works. That stuff's important. But if you don't get the strategy down, if you don't get the messaging down,
yep,
everything breaks down.
It will help you tactically a lot if the strategy is there and why do you do that. But very often I see that we build different funnels with different even products, different messages, and we just try, and this is not something that I can help you with because I don't believe in that.
So one of the things that you do believe in, and we're working on this together, is podcasting. You're going into season 2. I think you've got 67, maybe 70 episodes of the Powerful Marketing Tips podcast recorded. I want to hear firsthand from you. Most people that get into podcasting, most business owners, they might dabble, they might record like 3 or 4 episodes and then they're done. Why is it important to you? Why is podcasting important to you in the powerful marketing business?
Well, first and foremost, it really gives us a chance to put ourselves out there, to get more visibility and to spread the word about the brand of powerful marketers. But I must admit that over the time, I really even enjoy it even more and more because I feel like I learn so much from my guests every day, and I just enjoy that. So I feel like I am learning together, with our listeners, and I really enjoy that. So I have had some great feedback on podcasts, and it really builds me as a person also, with my confidence and everything. And another thing is that it really helps me to connect with, even with those people with whom I would never be able to connect maybe, So it is a very great way really to meet and connect different guest speakers, to learn from them, to get those insights, and at the same time to share it all with my listeners. So it's been great, and the reason I'm being consistent is because I am a marketer, and I believe in consistency. And I also read about that. I don't remember the exact number, but huge percentage of all the people who start with podcasting will do up to 10 episodes, and they will just cancel it. So, yeah, that's not for us. If we do something, we do it as great as we can. So, of course, I have a long way to go, but I'm really honored that I can be your student here, Mark.
Well, I'm glad that you could join the show and give both me and the audience, some really, I think, important things to consider. The other thing I think that really I didn't expect from podcasting was getting that feedback. I know I just keep coming back to this over and over because I think it's been so paramount in my growth. You know, I mentioned that I used to tell these different stories and I would get no reaction. You know, I would say it to a guest or I would say it as a guest and I wouldn't get any reaction. But as I would tell these stories, I tried different stories, I noticed that some did get reactions. And in fact, I'll get emails. I'll get emails from listeners that says, wow, Mark, that story really touched me. I really resonated with that. And then I say, okay, I've got something here. The other thing that would happen is there'll be different things that I've done with the show over the course of the last 100, 200 episodes. And then if I stop doing something, someone will send me an email, Mark, why aren't you doing that anymore? You know, so it's almost like a direct line to the audience.
It is. It really is. And two things with the feedback, if I may. You should always ask for a feedback because too often people say to me, I don't have any feedback. I'm like, have you asked? No. I'm like, okay, you should start asking for the feedback. And second thing, make it easy for them. You know, maybe you want to help them to fill in, I don't know, a Google form, or you can just do it any other way, but just make sure to make it easy, you know, few minutes, few clicks, and you will get your feedback and you can work with that.
Yeah, and getting constructive feedback is hard, by the way. You know, because you generally, when you're asking for constructive feedback, you either get one of two things. You either get someone saying, you suck, or you get someone saying, oh, it's good. Right? It's just hard to get someone to say, well, I like it, but you know, this particular point didn't really resonate with me, or this particular part of the service, I'm not really interested in. You know, that's the hard stuff to get.
But have you asked for that? If you're just putting out yes or no questions, it's easy for me to say, yes, I like, no, I don't like it. But if you ask me, you know, to be more specific, please describe it to me. It's very important for me, for my business, so I really appreciate that. Because people tend to do what they are asked for because we are wired to help each other. So that's very important. And you can use this across your marketing strategy because people really want to help you. And we should listen to them more.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Mari-Liis, I want to ask you some rapid fire questions. So get ready, buckle up, get ready. We are getting fired up for the rapid fire section here. But before we get into that, Mari-Liis, where's the best place that we can find you?
You could go to powerfulmarketers.com, or I'm there on LinkedIn, Mari-Liis Vaher. I would love to connect.
Awesome. So, Mari-Liis, thanks. We're going to connect with you. We're doing that right now. We're going to LinkedIn. We're connecting with Mari-Liis. We're going to the website. Links below, by the way. But Mari-Liis, I hope you buckled your seatbelt because rapid fire time is here. It is upon us. Get ready. Mari-Liis, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Annabelle.
Ooh, yeah, I don't.
That's
I don't
crazy.
like dolls. Yeah, that's good. If you could be any animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Dog, because they are loyal. I love them.
Okay. I'm sorry to say it, but you've committed a heinous crime. You're on death row. What are you going to get for your final meal? What are you going to order for your final meal?
I know this word in my own language. Just a second. It's related to fish. You know, the calamari is the same word in English.
Ah, calamari. Fried calamari?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could dig that. I like some fried calamari. If you had the chance to go to Mars, would you go?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm afraid of darkness, and I believe the road to there would be very long and very dark, and I would be lonely there, and I hate being lonely. And I'm afraid of darkness, so I'm not sure if somebody's waiting for me there. So I would rather go home with my family.
That's fair. I think if you asked Mark 20 years ago, I'd be like, yep, I'm going, but now I've got too much to live for here on Earth.
Yeah,
so,
same here.
With you. The metaverse, overrated, underrated?
I think overrated, because I have studied this psychology a lot, and I really believe that everything people will come down to their basic needs, and I don't really believe that there is a future for the virtual lives, so to say, or lives, so to say. I really believe that we need other persons around us in real life, and things also physically.
Okay. It's a hot take on the metaverse. I disagree, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go on it. I have
listened to
in.
some episodes.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm a bit of a degenerate. I don't want to go out on a rabbit hole, but I think I think you brought up a really important point. There's something important about physical touch, being in a presence, even the smell that you can get when you're around the right people who have showered properly, by the way.
I just think that it is not good for our mental health to only live life digitally. It really hurts people, and we can see that those people who are stressed and they feel a lot of anxiety, they are alone out there. It came especially with the COVID, right? We know that people were more depressed, being alone and being only connected virtually. So it's hard. You need to have this balance in your life.
Well said. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Oh my God, I just love traveling. I have lived in Spain. That would be, my comfort zone in a way. So I would go to Miami. I've always wished I could visit Miami one day.
Hey now, let me know when you're in town.
I will.
And then final question here. If you had 10 seconds with yourself 10 years ago, what would you say?
Assuming is the mother of all the problems.
Good stuff. Mari-Liis said it. I agree with it. Thanks for joining the show here today, Mari-Liis.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Boom. Thanks for listening to the show today. Go out and make it happen. We talked about a lot of tactical stuff that you can do in your business today. Now it's up to you to execute. I could sit here and bloviate all day, and that is not going to move the needle on your business. What's going to move the needle on your business is learning and executing in your business. Make it yours. Go out, take action. Thanks for subscribing. By the way, that means a lot. I appreciate that. And we'll catch you here next time on the After Hours Entrepreneur. Now go out and make it happen. Take action, build your six-figure business. Catch you next time. Peace.